Every word you speak either opens the gates of abundance or shuts them. Let that truth echo, not as poetry, not as philosophy, but as divine law, the law that governs all creation, the law that moves unseen hands and aligns visible things. You have been taught to hustle, to grind, to chase, but wealth is not a race. It is a revelation. It is not found in the outer world. It is spoken into being from within, long before a coin clinks, long before a contract is signed. Wealth answers a voice, not the voice you shout to the world, but the voice you whisper in your moments of doubt, the one you murmur in traffic, the one you don't even know you're using. There is a voice within you, and it is building or breaking your fortune, with every sentence, with every thought turned into speech, with every I can't, I never, I'm trying, it's hard. These are not casual phrases, they are blueprints for your reality. You are the divine architect of your life, and your words are the sacred instructions. In the beginning, God said, "Let there be light." He did not wish, he did not wonder, he spoke, and the formless obeyed. So why do you speak defeat and expect victory? Why do you declare lack and pray for overflow? Why do you curse your money with complaint and wonder why it disappears like smoke? You are sowing seeds in the most fertile soil. There is your subconscious mind. It receives every word as truth. It does not edit. It does not question. It simply grows what it is given. So, what are you planting? Close your eyes now. See your words as seeds falling from your mouth into sacred ground. Each one takes root. Each one blooms or withers depending on its truth. Say this silently. I now speak only what I wish to see grow. Again, with full presence, I now speak only what I wish to see grow. This is not affirmation, this is alignment. You are becoming one with divine law, the law of the tongue, the law of spiritual command. There is no wealth in the world that can overcome the poverty of the tongue. There is no external blessing that will survive the internal storm of self-sabotaging speech. When you say, I can't afford that, you are not describing a fact. You are issuing a command. When you say, I never win, you are not venting. You are sealing your fate. The universe is not listening for your hope. It is obeying your vibration. And words are vibration clothed in language. The richest man with the poorest language will return to dust. But the silent one who speaks only divine truth builds castles of light. Begin now to repair your temple of words. Strip away the phrases handed to you by fear. Rewire the chants of doubt you learned from your upbringing. Replace, I don't know how, with divine intelligence now shows me the way. Replace it's too hard with all things are easy through divine law. Replace I always struggle with I now rise into ease and provision. Do not wait for proof. Your words are the proof. Speak what you want to see. Speak it as already done. Speak it until the world bends to your inner reality. This is how wealth comes. It does not march in with noise. It appears like dew on the morning grass. Gentle, obedient, silent, answering the voice of one who has remembered their power. If you have spoken wrongly, do not fear. Cancel it now. Say with authority, I cast out every idle word that did not serve my good. I forgive myself for speaking against my own wealth. I now consecrate my voice to truth, to peace, to increase. Let this become your inner altar, your sacred restoration of speech, because the next section of your life will be written by the words you speak today, and the divine is already listening. Tao, take a breath. You've remembered something ancient. Your words are no longer cheap, they are holy currency, and you're ready to speak like the one who was always meant to be rich. You say you want wealth, you pray for prosperity, but what do you declare when no one is listening? I'm broke, money is tight, that's too expensive, I'll never afford that. These aren't harmless sentences, they are sacred instructions, commands sent deep into the soil of your subconscious, and the subconscious never argues, it obeys, always. This is the unseen saboteur, not fate, not bad luck, but your own voice trained by fear, clothed in lack, rehearsing limitation like a familiar script. If your speech contradicts your desire, the universe cannot deliver because divine law cannot be mocked. Florence Scovel Shinn called this the law of substitution. You cannot hold to opposing beliefs and expect divine results. You cannot affirm abundance while affirming struggle in the same breath. One will dominate, and it is always the one spoken with more emotion. So tell the truth. When you say, I'm trying to survive, what are you really planting? When you whisper, I never have enough, what future are you designing? Your words are not commentary. They are construction. Your mouth is a wand. What spell are you casting? Every time you curse your finances in frustration, you reinforce the very condition you want to escape. Every sigh of not enough becomes a silent prayer to keep it that way. Now look in the mirror, not just the glass on your wall. Look at the mirror of your life, your results, your bank account, your opportunities. They are not punishment, they are reflection. A perfect echo of what has been declared repeatedly, emotionally, and without spiritual awareness. You speak, and the world answers. You label yourself poor, and creation rushes to fulfill it. You call money hard, and it becomes a stranger to your door. You speak doubt, and your wealth retreats behind the veil. But the sacred truth is this: you can speak your way out, just as you spoke your way in. Pause now, breathe, feel the weight of words you've used against yourself. This is not shame, this is awakening. The moment when you reclaim the power you once handed over to fear. Say aloud, slowly, with reverence, I revoke every word that denied my wealth. I choose again, again. Feel the shift in your body. I revoke every word that denied my wealth. I choose again. This is not a mantra. It is a spiritual reset. It severs contracts made in pain and opens new ones written in power. Now begin to see your voice as divine currency. Each word an offering. Each phrase a decree. You are no longer allowed to speak carelessly. You are too powerful for that. Replace I'm broke with I am being restored by divine supply. Replace that's too expensive with if it is mine by divine right. It cannot be withheld. Replace money is hard with wealth flows to me with ease and purpose. This is sacred self-talk. This is the language of one who walks with divine law. It is not delusion. It is direction. When you speak the truth of your spiritual identity, circumstances must bend, not instantly, but inevitably. Because the universe rearranges itself around unwavering inner command. Your subconscious does not care what is real. It cares what is repeated. And repeated words become identity. Identity becomes vibration. Vibration becomes experience. So what identity are you building now? The impoverished victim, or the master of divine circulation? It's time to choose with your voice. Not once, but always. Let your words become a daily ceremony. A ritual of reverence and wealth creation. Every time you speak from fear, stop, cancel it, correct it, replace it, like this. I cancel that. I now declare divine wealth surrounds me. I am richly provided for. Let this be your new mirror, not the reflection of the past, but the projection of the future. A future sculpted by truth, anchored in the law, and spoken into form with love. Now you see why you weren't rich yet. It was never about your potential, only your programming. But that programming ends today, because you have remembered the sacred nature of your voice, and what you now speak, you shall become. There comes a moment in every soul's journey when asking is no longer enough, when pleading must turn to proclaiming, when desire must rise into dominion. This is the moment you must learn the law of divine command. Wealth is not wooed by wishful thinking. It answers to authority, to certainty, to unwavering declaration. Florence Scovel Shinn said, you must act as if you had already received, not hope, not beg. Act with the poise of royalty, with the certainty of spiritual law. Creation does not respond to confusion. The divine does not dwell in indecision. Your power lies in your words spoken with conviction, not complaint. Your mouth is the throne from which your world is ruled. When you say, I don't know how I'll pay this, the law waits. When you whisper, maybe it's not meant for me, the law pauses. But when you declare, money now comes to me, in divine and perfect order, something stirs in the unseen. The gates begin to open, because heaven hears clarity. See it now. A crown rests on your head, not one of gold, but of divine inheritance, and in your mouth, light, living, shaping light. Every word you speak becomes a decree, echoing into the field of form. You are not a beggar of the universe. You are the child of the Most High. You do not ask for crumbs. You command the feast. And yet, for too long, you have spoken as a servant, as one unworthy to command, but your silence did not protect you. It only delayed the abundance waiting for your voice. The law of divine command is simple. What you declare with faith becomes law in your life. Not eventually, but spiritually, instantly, and physically in divine timing. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. When your heart is pure, your words carry divine force. When your faith is intact, your tongue becomes a staff that parts the sea. So begin now. Each morning, stand tall, feel your crown, speak with light, do not whisper your wealth into existence. Summon it, say aloud with boldness, I now issue the divine command for money to appear in perfect timing. Again, with more presence, more fire, more knowing. I now issue the divine command for money to appear in perfect timing. Let this be your sacred ritual, not as performance, but as participation. In the divine orchestra of wealth, do not explain your desires. Do not apologize for them. Royalty does not ask for permission to prosper. It simply commands, and the kingdom responds. Imagine this. Each time you speak with authority, invisible forces move, paths clear, ideas arrive, checks come, favor unfolds, and it all began with one clear command. This is not magic. This is metaphysics. A law as sure as gravity. Just as you do not float into the air when you forget about gravity, you do not escape divine law by ignoring your speech. Your declarations are your destiny. You cannot speak lack and live in wealth. You cannot declare fear and walk in faith. So train your voice to align with your vision. Speak of what is becoming, not what has been. I now command unexpected income. I now command all bills paid with ease. I now command divine opportunities to find me. Speak these aloud, every morning, every night, until your voice no longer trembles, until your spirit rises to meet the words. You are the oracle of your own wealth, and your word is the law you live by. So what will you command today? What decree will go forth from your lips and return fulfilled? Because every command spoken in divine faith returns bearing the harvest, the law of divine command does not wait for you to feel ready. It waits for you to speak anyway, to trust the power invested in you by spirit, and to use it without hesitation. Let this be the turning point. No more soft requests. No more uncertain hoping. Only royal commands. And as you speak, the law listens. As you declare, the universe rearranges. As you command, it is done. Every word you speak is a frequency. Every phrase, a tuning fork. And the universe, by law, matches your tone. This is the essence of the law of substitution. What you say, you sustain. What you declare, you dwell in. You cannot speak poverty and live in prosperity. You cannot repeat fear and walk in faith. You cannot serve two masters with the same tongue. The law of substitution teaches this sacred truth. You cannot hold two opposing beliefs in the same space. One must be released so the other may rise. When you let go of a language rooted in lack, you open the channel to divine supply. Think of it this way. Every phrase you speak is a frequency, and like tuning a radio, your words decide what station you live on. If you keep tuning in to I can't afford that, you'll keep hearing static from the realm of limitation. But when you substitute that frequency with it's not aligned right now, you remain in your power. You don't deny the situation. You simply redirect the signal. I can't afford is a vibration of finality. It shuts the door. It cuts the current. It tells your subconscious, I am not the one who receives, but it's not aligned right now. Keeps the window open. It acknowledges divine timing. It affirms that your good is not denied, only deferred. And in that shift, you remain magnetic. Words are not just sounds, they are signals, instructions, spiritual architecture. When you change the story, you change the structure. I remember a time when money felt distant, the bills were loud, the account was low, and the phrase I can't afford it lived in every corner of my mind. Until one morning, I caught myself. In the silence before speaking, I chose different words. Instead of I can't, I said, it's not divine timing yet. Instead of that's too expensive, I whispered, I bless it and release it for now. Instead of I'm broke, I declared, I'm becoming wealthy in unseen ways. And something shifted, not just outside, but within. The tension in my chest softened. The panic loosened its grip. I felt aligned again, and within days, opportunities arrived. A payment came through. An idea sparked revenue. Support appeared without force. That was the moment I knew. The substitution didn't just change my language, it changed my life. You see, the subconscious does not argue. It obeys. It believes what you repeat. So when you speak new truths with reverence, your inner world rearranges to match. Let's make this practical. Right now, take a deep breath, close your eyes, and ask yourself, which money phrases do I say that need divine substitution? Do you speak about struggle as if it's permanent, Do you call bills burdens? Do you laugh about being broke to mask the shame? Write it down, be honest, and then offer each phrase to the light. I replace "I can't afford that" with "I choose to wait for divine timing." I replace "I never have enough" with "I am always supported in surprising ways." I replace "I'm not good with money" with "I am learning the language of wealth." This is the sacred exchange. Not denial, but refinement. Not pretending, but aligning. Your new vocabulary is not empty positivity. It is spiritual precision. It is choosing to speak as the future you, the version of you who already knows how this story ends, and that version doesn't shrink in the face of lack. They substitute fear with faith, delay with trust, doubt with declaration. Say it aloud now, with calm certainty. I substitute every word of lack with divine language of abundance. Again, slowly, as if each syllable is carving a new path. In your soul, I substitute every word of lack with divine language of abundance. Let your mouth become a sanctuary, a sacred space where only truth lives. Let your words bathe your mind in possibility. Let your phrases tune you to the station of divine wealth. This is how transformation begins, not with effort, with substitution, not with force, with frequency. Speak differently, and you will feel differently. Feel differently, and you will act differently. Act differently, and you will live in a new reality. So the next time your mind wants to say, "That's too much," pause, switch the station. Say instead, "It's not mine to hold today, but I bless it and release it." This is the sacred mastery of the tongue. The whispered reframe that rewrites destiny. There is a law, silent and unyielding, woven into the fabric of your reality. It listens, it reflects, it repeats, not through logic, not through time, but through vibration. This is the law of invisible echo. Whatever you speak into the unseen returns to you magnified. The universe is not deaf. It is a divine cave of consciousness. When you declare, "I am rich," it does not argue. It simply echoes. Your words move faster than light, deeper than thought. They embed themselves into the architecture of your reality. Shout into the cave, "I always struggle," and the echo becomes your script. Whisper, "I lack," and the shadows carry it to the edges of form. But when you speak wealth, love, grace, and divine favor, the universe begins to reshape around those syllables. Florence Scovel Shinn called it the law of return. What you send out in word, you call back in form. The tongue is not flesh. It is spirit, a transmitter. A wand. Every phrase you utter is a seed in the invisible. You may not see the soil. You may not witness the roots. But the harvest will come. Your subconscious records every declaration as truth, not because it weighs them for accuracy, but because it was designed to obey. Say it often enough, and the brain wires itself to find the evidence. The neurons build the road, the path becomes a pattern, and the pattern becomes your life. You are not merely speaking into air, you are commanding the field. Every sentence you repeat becomes a spell of return. This is why we begin the shift with intention, sacred self-talk. Words chosen like prayers. Let's begin a ritual. 3 minutes a day. Alone. In the morning light or under the veil of night, stand before the mirror or close your eyes. And speak not to the walls. Speak to the universe that built them. I am wealthy beyond reason. Divine substance surrounds me. Every word I speak returns to me as gold. Doors open when I call. I am aligned with infinite supply. Speak slowly. Speak sincerely. Speak until your voice carries the weight of belief. This is not wishful thinking. This is spiritual law. The law of echo hears the bold, the broken, and the brave, and it returns to each in their own language. If you speak from fear, the echo multiplies that fear. If you speak from power, even with trembling lips, that power grows louder in the invisible. There is no neutrality here. Your words are never wasted. They do not vanish. They reverberate. So, I ask you now, what have you been saying in secret? What phrases are circling back as reality? Pause, breathe, and hear what you've planted. Today, you choose differently. You are not a passive participant in your creation. You are the voice that initiates the echo. Affirm it now, with reverence, with conviction, with holy defiance against the old. What I send into the invisible must return. I send wealth in words. And with that, a new echo begins. It is already moving, already forming, already returning. Your words are not decorations, they are divine instruments. Each syllable is a note in the orchestra of your becoming. And if you desire wealth that truly arrives, you must learn the law that governs the shape of its return. This is the law of sacred specificity. Vague words summon vague results. Unclear commands confuse the invisible forces. Imagine walking into a divine restaurant, a place where the universe stands ready to serve. You are seated at a golden table, and the waiter is not of flesh, but of light. They ask, "What will you have?" And you whisper, "Just, food." What arrives? A crust, a crumb, a random dish, not because the universe is cruel, but because it was never told what you truly desired. But when you speak with clarity, with focus, with intention, the universe aligns. Not a moment too soon, not a fragment too little, but exactly, fully, divinely. You are not greedy for asking. You are reverent. You are honoring the law by being precise. So, what does wealth mean to you? Is it a home wrapped in sunlight? Is it the freedom to travel, to give, to breathe without worry? Is it the power to fund beauty, to raise others, to heal generations? Then speak that. Declare it in full color. Declare it without apology. Not "I want money," but "I am now receiving a home by the sea, with wide windows and silence in the walls. I am now welcoming a bank account that overflows with ease, supporting my purpose, my people, my peace." Florence Scovel Shinn taught that the subconscious responds to form, and form follows the word. If your word is clear, the form will be exact. This is not daydreaming, this is sacred scripting. You must train the tongue to speak from the place of already. Say it now. I am now receiving opportunities aligned with my highest path. I am now seeing evidence of wealth all around me. I am now guided to divine appointments that lead to overflow. The key is present tense precision. Not one day, not maybe, not if I'm lucky, but I am, because you are. Because the moment you speak, you activate the unseen. This is your practice. Each morning, take 3 minutes. Close your eyes. Feel what you desire as if it's already yours. Then speak it aloud. Let your words dress your future in detail. Say it like you mean it. Say it like heaven is listening, because it is. My words carry precision, and heaven responds accordingly. When you script your wealth with reverence and specificity, you step through the silent gate of destiny. You stop waiting. You start commanding. Not from ego, but from divine alignment. Your words are the paintbrush. Your life is the canvas, and the invisible is the artist that waits for your direction. So ask with clarity. Speak with trust. Words alone do not move mountains. They are the spark. But without the fire of feeling, they remain unlit prayers. Empty shells echoing in the vastness. This is the law of emotional charge. The words you speak are the lightning rods, but emotion is the storm that strikes them alive. Every decree you speak must be wrapped in feeling, because it is not the sentence that creates, it is the vibration it carries, the soul behind the syllables. You can say "I am wealthy" 1,000 times, but if your heart is hollow when you say it, if your spirit doesn't believe it, those words float away like smoke. Now, try something with me. Close your eyes, say it flatly, "I am wealthy." Let it fall from your lips like a lifeless leaf. Feel how the body doesn't respond, nothing stirs, nothing shifts. Now say it again, but this time, summon something. Pull power from your gut. Feel the strength of truth rising in your chest. Say it not like a wish but like a divine law. "I am wealthy." Feel the difference. The air around you feels thicker. The ground beneath you feels steadier. That is the law of emotional charge. Words become wealth only when they are born of energy, conviction, passion, knowing. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that your word is your wand, but no wand works without the hand that holds it with belief. You must rehearse not just the words, you must rehearse the emotion. Before you speak an affirmation, feel into it, see it, taste it. Let the vision rise within you like sacred fire. Picture yourself entering your new home. Your footsteps echo in abundance. The smell of peace lives in the walls. Say, "I am abundant," while standing in that vision. Say, "I am fully provided for," with the warmth of wealth in your bones. Emotion activates the command. It is the divine key that unlocks the invisible vault. So rehearse emotionally. Speak with sensation. Let your affirmations rise from the belly, not the mouth. Don't say, "I am ready to receive," like you're reading a sentence. Say it like you're standing before a door you've waited your whole life to open. Feel what it's like to be free. Feel what it's like to be supported. Feel what it's like to no longer beg life for more, because now you are seated at the table of divine overflow. Say it again. My words are alive with divine feeling, and they manifest as wealth. This is your practice. Before every declaration, pause, breathe in, call the emotion forward like a familiar friend. Don't rush. Let the word meet the feeling, then release it into the world. When you speak with emotion, you call heaven's forces to attention. You remind the universe that you are not whispering wishes. You are commanding destiny. This is not about pretending. It is about activating. You are not faking wealth. You are awakening the truth that already lives within you. Speak as if it's real, and it will begin to become. Speak with the heart, and the world will shape itself accordingly. Silence is not the absence of power, but the preparation of it. There is a law hidden in the pause that most never see, but the wealthy always obey. There is a spiritual art forgotten in this world of force, an ancient softness, a holy yielding. This is the law of non-resistance, the invisible current that carries wealth not through effort, but through alignment. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Fear and impatience demagnetize your good. What you chase in desperation runs faster. What you demand in panic hides deeper. But what you bless with peace arrives without delay." Non-resistance is not weakness. It is divine wisdom. It is water flowing around the stone. It is the river choosing the path of least resistance. Yet reaching the ocean with power the mountain cannot match. When you speak with urgency, you disrupt divine timing. When you declare, "This must happen now," you are not creating, you are constraining. The universe does not respond to panic. It moves with the rhythm of trust. Speak instead, like a soul who knows. It comes to me in perfect timing. I am aligned with the divine sequence of my good. I need not rush what is already mine. Resistance lives in the words of fear. Surrender lives in the language of trust. When wealth delays, the world teaches you to try harder, but spirit invites you to let go deeper. Because resistance blocks the current, and your voice can either build a dam or open the floodgates. Speak peace into the pause. Speak calm into the unknown. If you are worried today, do not echo that worry with your words. Do not speak lack, hoping it will call in abundance. Speak only what aligns with divine flow. I am safe. My wealth knows my name. Even in the silence, things are moving for me. This is your daily practice. Each time worry arises, meet it not with fear, but with declaration. Not the kind that demands, but the kind that trusts. Say, I do not chase. I magnetize. Say, everything good flows to me freely, without struggle. Say, there is no delay in divine delivery. When you speak these words with surrender, you return to your center. You step back into the current. Non-resistance is not giving up, it is giving in to the greater wisdom. It is knowing that divine timing is never late. It is the soul's compass pointing inward, reminding you, wait, not in fear, but in faith. Picture yourself floating on the river of divine flow. You see the bends, you see the still water, you see the distant horizon. But you don't need to paddle upstream. You simply allow. Now, say this with your full being. I release resistance and let wealth flow through the path of least resistance. Let that be your prayer. Let that be your pace. Because the wealth you seek is not being withheld. It is simply waiting for your surrender. Speak like someone who trusts the soil, even when the seed is hidden. Speak like someone who knows that the silence is not punishment but preparation. Each time you surrender with your words, you invite heaven to do what effort never could. You welcome the unseen hands to build your blessing. So let go, let it flow, and let your voice become the opening through which wealth returns. The silent law that governs all visible wealth, not the outer noise, but the secret frequency that speaks without sound and creates without effort. Your words are not just sounds, they are soul commands. They do not disappear when spoken. They descend into the soil of your subconscious and take root. This is the law of spoken identity. What you declare consistently, you become. What you confess repeatedly, you embody. If you have said, I'm just bad with money, or I never get ahead, or wealth isn't meant for people like me, then you've been unknowingly carving your name into stone. Not the name you were born with, but the name your spirit wears in silence. You see, every time you say I am, you are calling truth to attention. You are giving your inner world new instructions. And the subconscious does not argue. It does not ask if you meant it. It obeys. So what happens when I am broke becomes your daily hymn. Your world rearranges to match it. Not out of cruelty, but obedience. Not out of punishment, but programming. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that our words are our wands, and you have been casting spells without realizing it. But now, you awaken. Now, you reclaim the pen. You recarve the name. From I am behind to I am aligned. From I'm a mess with money to I am a faithful steward of divine riches. From I can't keep it to I multiply wealth with ease and wisdom. It begins with a choice. A sacred turning. Not a denial of where you've been, but a divine remembrance of who you really are. Picture your identity like a sculpture. Each word is a chisel. Each phrase, a gentle stroke against the stone. And over time, the old form breaks away. The real you emerges, not the one shaped by fear, but the one shaped by truth. Let your words now reflect that truth. Not borrowed affirmations, but soul-deep declarations. Say this with reverence. I now speak the truth of who I really am. Wealthy, worthy, wise. Let it echo not just in your room, but in your cells. Let it become the rhythm of your rising. This is not delusion. This is design. You are not making up an identity. You are unearthing the divine self beneath the dust of doubt. Speak as if heaven hears you. Speak as if your inner child is listening. Speak as if your future is forming with each syllable. Say, I am no longer the story of lack. I am the revelation of divine abundance. Say, I honor wealth not with fear, but with joy. Not with guilt, but with grace. Say, I was never broken. I was only waiting to remember. The shift from shame to sacred self-respect begins with voice, not louder, just truer, not dramatic, just divine. So take a breath, and speak again. But this time, as someone who knows that the old names poor, unworthy, incapable, were never yours to carry. They were whispered by fear, but you are now led by faith. The law of spoken identity is not magic, it is law. What you repeat, you reinforce. And what you reinforce, you live. So, reinforce your truth, reinforce your sacredness, reinforce your worth. Not one more word of self-betrayal, not one more line written in the ink of shame. You are here to speak wealth into your being, not as something you chase, but as something you are. And now, as your words take root and your identity realigns, we step forward into the next divine law, one that reveals the magnetic power hidden in praise itself. Not just what you speak about yourself, but how you lift the energy of all things. The law of glorification, the final portal before manifestation. There is a hidden rhythm behind every transformation, not found in loud declarations or grand gestures, but in the quiet echo of a repeated truth, again and again, until the invisible becomes visible. This is the law of divine repetition, a sacred law that governs how reality responds to your words. Florence Scovel Shinn taught it not as a trick, but as a discipline, a devotion, to keep speaking the word, even when nothing seems to change, especially when nothing seems to change. Why? Because your subconscious is not moved by one spark, it is reshaped by fire, a steady flame, and your repetition is the match. The subconscious mind learns through rhythm, through patterns, through the drumbeat of belief spoken without wavering. What you say once, it hears. What you say daily, it becomes. So when you say, wealth now flows to me, over and over, you are not begging the universe. You are aligning with it. You are pressing the seal of truth into the wax of your inner world, and eventually, the outer world bends. You may not feel it the first day. You may not see it the second. But truth repeated is truth remembered. And truth remembered is truth made flesh. That the law of divine repetition is your training ground. Not to force, but to form. Not to obsess, but to reprogram. Set a timer each hour. Let it ring like a temple bell. And when it does, pause. Place your hand over your heart, and declare with intention, wealth now flows to me. Not passively, not like a chant you don't believe, but like a soul remembering its original vow. Let the words enter you. Let them shape the contours of your inner belief. Let them walk the halls of your doubt until even your doubt becomes a disciple. Speak as if the air itself is responding, as if every molecule is shifting to obey. Because it is. The universe does not resist repetition. It relies on it. The sun rises, the tides return, the heartbeat continues, and so must your word. Florence called her affirmations the magic words of success. But the magic isn't in the novelty. It's in the constancy, the unwavering loyalty to truth. So here is your spiritual practice. A 7-day spoken wealth challenge. Every morning, begin with this declaration. My words repeat divine truth until all creation aligns. Write it, speak it, whisper it, sing it, if you must. Let it fill the spaces where fear once lived. Throughout the day, return to your anchor phrase. Wealth now flows to me. Say it while washing dishes. Say it while walking. Say it before you fall asleep. Not as noise, but as nourishment. Your words are not lost in the air. They are seeds, and each repetition waters them, until one morning, you wake to a new landscape, a mind that no longer questions wealth, a heart that welcomes it, a reality that reflects it, and when doubt rises, when the old stories whisper, you don't argue, you repeat, you return, you reclaim. This is divine work, and divine work takes rhythm. Let your declarations be your drum. Let your soul dance to the sound of your own faith. You are not just speaking wealth. You are becoming the vibration of it. So say it again and again. Not for the universe to hear you, but for you to finally believe you. My words repeat divine truth until all creation aligns. As your inner world is retrained by the music of your own voice, a new law begins to stir, the final law, one that holds the crown of all the rest. The law of glorification, where praise becomes power, and gratitude becomes the gateway to overflow. Let us rise into it. Before wealth shows up in your hands, it must be formed in your mouth. Before riches enter your bank, they must pass through your belief. This is the law of word before form. The spoken word is the seed. Money is merely the fruit. The universe does not respond to sight. It responds to sound, to faith, to invisible conviction declared aloud. You must speak wealth before it ever arrives, because your words are not waiting for evidence. They are planting evidence into existence. In the spiritual realm, the spoken word is law. And what is law? A decree, a command, a force that pulls substance out of the formless void and gives it shape. Florence Scovel Shinn called this casting the burden. She taught that once you've spoken it in faith, it's no longer yours to worry about. It's done, released, assigned to divine intelligence. The world may call it delusion, but heaven calls it devotion. To speak what is not seen, as if it already is to stand in divine partnership with creation itself. The law of word before form demands boldness, not arrogance, but spiritual authority. A knowing that the invisible is more real than the visible. Picture this: a divine gardener walks into a field of barren soil. She kneels, places a seed into the dark earth, and smiles. Why? Because she knows, though she sees nothing, she believes in what cannot yet be touched. She waters, she nurtures, she waits with expectation, because the seed is alive, and she has done her part. This is you. This is what you do every time you speak your wealth before it forms. You are not guessing. You are gardening. You say, I am wealthy. I am supplied. My riches are now manifesting. Even if your wallet is thin, even if the bills are stacked, even if no one else believes in your vision, because you are no longer speaking from the material. You are speaking from the divine. Florence wrote, you must act as if you already possess the thing you've asked for. That includes speaking as if it's done. You don't wait for the form to show up to speak the word. You speak the word and the form obeys. So close your eyes now. Let me guide you into your wealth. Not someday now. Breathe in, breathe deep, and see the version of you who walks in ease. See the bank account that overflows. Feel the peace that comes when giving is easy. When tithing feels joyful, not forced. See yourself waking up in a home paid for in full. Ordering without glancing at the price, investing with confidence, providing with grace. Your future self is already living the reality your words are building today. Speak into that life now. Say it aloud, though unseen. My spoken wealth is already on the way. Repeat it. Let it anchor. Let it echo in the chambers of your subconscious. Let it become more real to you than the temporary facts around you. You are not here to describe your life. You are here to decide it. And the divine listens to the decisive. Words go before you like spiritual architects. They construct the house before you move in. They write the check before it clears. They name the miracle before it manifests. You don't need proof. You need precision. Start now. Take 5 minutes in the morning, 5 at night. Walk through your home speaking abundance. Bless your pillow with prosperity. Bless your front door with overflow. Say aloud, I live in divine wealth. Even if the neighbors don't understand, especially if they don't, because your life is not dictated by others' opinions. It's shaped by your own declarations. You are the oracle, the seer, the sewer. Your words are sacred scrolls written in the air, and heaven does not let them fall to the ground. It fulfills what is spoken with reverence. This is not magic. This is divine mathematics. Speak it, trust it, let go, and the form will follow. Like a shadow follows the sun, the law of word before form is not optional for those who walk the spiritual path of wealth. It is essential, it is holy, and it is yours to practice. From this moment on, let the words you speak tonight build the wealth you'll walk into tomorrow, because where your voice goes, your life must follow. Now breathe again, feel the shift. We are not finished. There is one final door to open, one last truth to reveal. You were never a beggar of fate. You were never meant to whisper wishes into the wind, hoping life might listen. You were born to speak with the voice of wealth, to stand in the center of the unseen and call form into being. You are the divine architect, the sacred scripter, the speaker of new beginnings. Everything you've spoken from truth has been heard. Every declaration carved in faith has been etched into the blueprint of your destiny. We began this journey with sacred soil and silent seeds. Now you stand at the harvest. Not because you've seen all the fruit yet, but because you've become the sower who never doubts the season. The energy that once echoed lack now vibrates with divine certainty. You no longer borrow words from fear. You create from truth. You command from spirit. Let me tell you a story. A woman once lived in the constant ache of financial strain. Every morning she woke up to scarcity, not just in her wallet, but in her words. She called herself unlucky, said money slipped through her hands, spoke of bills before she spoke of blessings, and life obeyed her speech. Until one day she stopped. She opened Florence Scovel Shinn's book and read the words, "Your word is your wand." That night she rewrote her story. She stood before her mirror and declared, I am the wealth of God in expression. I speak gold into my life. It felt hollow at first, but she persisted. She turned her morning doubt into morning decrees. She no longer described her life. She dictated it, and like a rose unfolding toward the sun, her world began to change. Unexpected opportunities. Debts erased. Clients found her. Peace returned, not because she chased money, but because she became the voice that money listened to. You can do the same. You are doing it now. But today is more than realization. It is a coronation, a claiming. It is time to embody the sacred role you were born to fulfill. Not a victim of your circumstances, not a servant to systems. You are the king, the queen, the divine voice through which wealth flows freely. And so I invite you now into a holy ritual. Not with incense or candles, but with intention and boldness. Take a sheet of paper and write your wealth declaration. Not what you hope, not what you need, but what you are. Start with these words. I now speak with the voice of divine wealth, and so it is. Then add what your soul has known all along. Declare your life. Write it as done. Sign it with your name and your faith. Then speak it aloud 3 times, not quietly, powerfully. Let your body feel it. Let your room absorb it. Let your angels record it. You are not casting a spell. You are revealing your spirit. You are awakening the divine architect within. You are no longer waiting to be rescued. You are rising as the rescuer of your own abundance. Say it again. I now speak with the voice of divine wealth, and so it is. This is not just affirmation. It is activation. It is remembrance. It is the unlocking of every invisible door your soul has ever knocked on. When fear tries to return, remember this moment. When doubt creeps in, return to your voice. It is your sword. It is your sanctuary. It is your seed and your sunlight. You are not just attracting wealth. You are wealth in human form. You are not just speaking prosperity. You are prosperity speaking through you. So rise, straighten your spine, lift your chin, open your chest like a temple of light. And from this day forward, speak as the one who already has it. Speak as the one who was born for it. Speak as the one who knows how divine orchestration moves. Slow, sure, sovereign. And when the world tries to pull you back into its noise, return to your declaration. Say it again and again. Let it become your rhythm, your ritual, your roar, because you are the voice of wealth. Speak it, live it, become it. Final affirmation. Say it slowly, feel it entirely. I now speak with the voice of divine wealth, and so it is.